Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's like to not be taken seriously in terms of like your mental health problems, and how to notice someone's not taking you seriously, and how to reduce mental health or mental illness stigma. So yeah, I, along with so many other people who have been struggling with their mental health, or who are struggling with their mental health, have experienced not being taken seriously like so many times. If I had a 10 rand for every single time I wasn't taken seriously in terms of like my mental health and my mental health issues and stuff like that, I would be so rich by now. Because like it's been like so many times, and most of the time it's mental health professionals that are not taking people seriously, and it's actually their job to do the total opposite. So usually when you are going through like something bad with your mental health, like when you have like mental health issues, like for example you're going through a depressive episode, or you're constantly having panic attacks and stuff like that, you are encouraged to seek help. Your parents, for example, or your friends, someone you confide these issues to, they will tell you to seek help. So when I have sought help, I went to my general practitioner, and she had told me that what I'm experiencing is just a situational thing, and like it's just a phase, and it's a teenage thing, and then she kept on going on. She was like, and you must just find God and exercise, and she was so passionate about what she was speaking about, as if it was going to help me. And she still continued to belittle me, and like she went on and on and on, and it wasn't helping me at all. And I would think that like in med school they would like teach about mental health, even if like you're not going to be a psychiatrist. Like it's a main thing, and you can't just like tell them to just like find God and exercise. Like you have to be realistic here. So yeah, that's what happened. So yeah, it was really frustrating for me, because I came to her to get help, but she wasn't helping me. So yeah, it just made me really angry, and I didn't know what to do, because like, just imagine you like go to someone and you're like, literally help me, and then they're like, oh yeah, like you just go find God and exercise, you know, like you'll be fine. Like no dude, it's not gonna work. Like I know with like specific stuff, I guess you can find God and exercise, okay, but when it's something like so severe, like let me bring up my situation, like depressive episodes and 8 panic attacks in 5 days, and then you're saying just find God and exercise. Like, please be realistic. What I was experiencing was not a phase, it was not a situational thing, and it was not a teenage thing. I know this because I had been like experiencing mental health issues way before I even went to go see her, and phases aren't usually as intense and severe as mental health problems. I don't think that like depression and other stuff like that, like other mental health problems, are phases. I think you either learn how to live with the pain, or you recover. I think you either have one episode in your lifetime, more than one, and then it just stops, or it's just chronic. Another time where I wasn't like taken seriously was when I was explaining to my psychologist like specific symptoms that I was experiencing, and they were like affecting me a lot, and she just told me that it's just like a hormonal thing, and it's just a teenage thing, and I'm not getting enough sleep, and I'll be fine and everything, and it didn't make me feel any better. These are 2 incidents where I wasn't taken seriously, and like this is not the only one, but like from like mental health professionals. And I honestly think it is because like a lot of adults have this preconceived notion that children can't experience mental health problems, and if they do, it's just hormonal or it's just a phase. But sometimes even adults don't get taken seriously by mental health professionals either, and maybe it is because they seem too functional to have mental illness. Because I know that like with some mental illnesses, with some severe cases, some people can't even function properly, and then like just because someone can actually function, they still do have mental illness, if I'm making sense. Like it still is affecting them and it still is intense, and there is something going on in their lives. So just because they are functional doesn't mean that like it's absolutely nothing, you know. There's like functional depression and stuff like that. Like someone can be depressed but they can still function with their everyday life, but some people can be depressed and they can't function. Like they literally can't get out of the bed, they can't brush their teeth, they can't wash their hair, they can't bath themselves, they can't eat. But then some people, they like half with all of that stuff. Like let's say they won't exactly have an appetite, but then like they can eat, you know. But with some people they can't like physically eat, because like, do you get what I'm saying? Because there's like different severities, you know. So yeah. Because like some people will like also think that people with mental illnesses can't function well. So if there is someone with a mental illness, well, with a perceived mental illness, I'm going like this because that's what they think. They will think that they don't have a mental illness because they can't function. I mean, because they can't function. Sorry. So yeah, they just dismiss them as perfectly fine, which is wrong. When a mental health professional neglects a mentally ill patient or leaves them untreated, it leaves the patient feeling worse about themselves, and their state of mental health could possibly deteriorate. And this isn't fair on anyone, especially the mentally ill person. I have also had other experiences with relatives where I have been told that it's all in my head and that I'm just making things up. Yeah, and it really doesn't make sense how people with mental health problems have to beg to be taken seriously, but people with physical health problems don't have to beg. And like it seems like people only believe that you're actually going through something when you're like either on a hospital bed or like literally dying, or you are like covered in like blood or whatever, or like you have blood somewhere. Like it seems like it has to come to that extent for people to actually believe that you have mental illness, or to actually believe that there's something going on. And it's just like really not fair on anyone, because it doesn't make anything better, you know. So you guys, please just like think about this, you know, and just like, yeah. And like you guys, you missed how, I don't know if like if you're watching this and you're gonna be in the medical field, just like, especially like a general practitioner, don't be like my general practitioner, okay? And if you're gonna be a psychologist, don't be like psychologist that I dealt with, or just like anyone who's gonna like deal with like mental stuff, like, because general practitioner just like does everything that's like general, you know. So you need to keep that in mind, because we're just trying to make the world a better place, you know. And if you're gonna do stuff like that and you try to help people but you're just gonna be ignorant, it's not gonna help anything, it's not gonna help anyone, and you're not gonna secure the bag, okay? So think about that. So yeah, there's literally no difference between mental health problems and physical health problems. The only difference is that one is physical and one is mental. Like it's literally, health is health. And when someone is cut, you obviously don't tell them you'll need to change your frame of mind, you'll be better. So why are you saying stuff like that to people with mental illnesses? It needs to stop. And like most people who have had mental illnesses at some point in their lives have been blamed for their condition and have been called names, and their symptoms have been referred to as like a phase or something that they can control if they tried. and it's really not fair. Signs that you are not being taken seriously by your parents, mental health professionals, or like anyone that's just like a relative, or even like anyone, like your friend or whatever, are that they just like dismiss your symptoms and they downplay them. They will also try to come up with a reason for you having those symptoms. Like for example, they'll say it's a phase or hormonal or old age. And lastly, they will maybe make you feel crazy for experiencing whatever it is that you are experiencing. A few things you could do if you're not being taken seriously is to, one, tell someone you think might understand, because that makes you feel so much better about what you're going through and your mental illness. Two, don't expect everyone to understand, because mental illness stigma is inevitable. Three, you should know that mental health professionals are people too, and not every mental health professional is an expert on every mental illness, and you should maybe get a mental health professional who specializes in your mental illness. But also they should also know a little bit on it. Just because they don't specialize doesn't mean that like they shouldn't be taught, because they are taught that, but they just, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna like roast them. And four, you could get yourself an independent mental health advocate. An IMHA is someone who's specifically trained to work within the framework of the Mental Health Act to meet the needs of the patient. Although you do not need to meet specific requirements to get one, it can still be considered. 12 ways you could help reduce / fight mental health and illness stigma are as follows. You could talk openly about mental health. You could educate yourself and others. You could encourage equality between physical and mental illnesses. You could be conscious of language. And conscious of language, I mean like just like not playing with like the mental illnesses, you know. Like for example, like you just say someone like so bipolar, or the Withers bipolar or whatever, because like as I said in my previous video, bipolar disorder isn't about being moody, it's about being depressed and being manic. So yeah, stuff like that. And then like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna kill myself, like playing, like, you know, just like be conscious of your language. You could show compassion for those with mental illnesses. You could be honest about treatment. Like for example, I'm going to therapy, you should try to I see a psychiatrist, it's really helping me, and stuff like that. You could choose empowerment over shame. So you could empower people for reaching out and speaking about their mental illnesses, instead of shaming them for having a mental illness and for having something that they can't control and they didn't ask to have. You could document your mental health transformation. You could view people with mental illnesses as people first, just like you would for people with physical illnesses. Like for example, people with someone who broke their leg, you're like, okay, let me help them. Or someone who has diabetes, okay, they need to get this specific food, and like they need to do this and this and this, and they need to treat their wounds and stuff like that, and you need to help them and everything. So why don't you treat people with mental illnesses as people first? Like even if it's something like with anxiety, because it's still severe at times, and you know, they also need like some comfort and some love, you know. You could recognize how uncommon mental illnesses are. You could foster a culture that allows men to feel comfortable with asking for help. This one is so important, because a lot of men, they don't feel comfortable talking about their mental health issues and stuff, because they're men and they're meant to be strong, and they can't speak about it because of toxic masculinity, you know. So you gotta kick toxic masculinity in its butt, you know. And you could be against joking about mental illnesses and not joke about it yourself, as I said earlier. Like, you know, I'm just gonna like kill myself, you know, I'm just gonna off myself because of this and this. It's just not funny, you know. For a group of people who already carry such a heavy burden, like being mentally ill, stigma is an unacceptable addition to their pain. All of us in the mental health community need to raise our voices against stigma. No matter how you contribute to the mental health movement, you can make a difference by simply knowing that mental illness is not anyone's fault, no matter what societal stigma says. If you have made it to the end of this video, I thank you so much, and thank you just so much for listening to me. And this was like a really important video, and just like let me know what you thought, and tell me if you learned anything new. And yeah, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and it's gonna like really help me, because yeah, okay. And if yeah, so if you want to see more of me, and if you want to see more mental health content, please subscribe to my channel. So yeah, hugs and kisses, bye.